Hey, you guys, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. So I have Instagram over here, I got Facebook over here. Um, Instagram totally has a better filter than Facebook, though, just so you guys know. Anyway, I wanted to come on and talk about the post that I just did, which is perfect nutrition does not mean perfect health. And this is something that has really been weighing on my heart lately, just as I talk to more people. I do my own, research, but I also kind of do my own soul searching at the same time with what's the best way to really like educate people on nutrition, what's the best way to approach it, how to make nutrition sustainable and more of a lifestyle, this, that, and the other thing. So I'm not sure if you guys are at all familiar with this term of orthorexia, but it's something that has been popping up in my life more and more and more. And I mean, if you hear the ending alone, exia, it probably makes you think of anorexia, and that's not exactly the same thing. Anorexia is where, you starve yourself and you don't eat. Orthorexia, not better, not worse, but it's just this obsession with having perfect nutrition and having a perfect fitness regimen, and just really not allowing ourselves to go off course or to really live. And so it's an issue. And I think I see it a lot in my profession of other nutrition professionals, of just almost trying to hold themselves and their clients to this really unattainable level. Or when I'm working with clients, it's like as soon as they dip off even a little bit, it's like, well, screw it, I've messed it up, right? You are going along, you have a great breakfast, you have an awesome lunch, and then darn it, you have a cookie. And it's like, well, screw it, I messed up, I'm a failure, right? I'm not going to try and get into that kind of mindset, but just really talking about how important it is for health and overall well-being to actually to have balance and to not be so black and white. And I can attest, I am the queen of black and white. I have anorexia in my past. I have bulimia in my past. I have addiction in my past. I have all of that stuff. I get the obsession and the compulsion and the OCD, all or nothing attitude. I lived it for over half my life. I hands down understand it. It's also what's helped me have such a great respect for being able to live in the gray. And I think that's really kind of what this is about, is being able to live in that gray area of not being perfect with our nutrition, and really understanding that not having perfect nutrition is possibly a better sign of health than someone that maybe is so regimented that they can't go out to eat because they don't know where the produce is sourced from. They don't know where the animals are sourced from. They don't know what the oils are being, that are being used. And while those can be important questions to ask and, to really advocate for yourself when you are out to eat and things like that, to not get so regimented that you stop living. And that's really what the purpose of this video is that we can't get so stuck in these boxes when it comes to nutrition or when it comes to health that we stop living, because that really isn't health. That actually starts being a stressor, that starts creating anxiety, that starts, when we're under stress, we're increasing our cortisol levels, which does tremendous damage to the body. You start storing fat instead of burning fat. So really almost this orthorexia, this obsession with perfect nutrition, because that's just what I'm going to focus on right now, is actually detrimental to your health. It completely works against you. So I talk to so many women, and what do they want more than anything? They want to learn how to live a balanced life. How to, eat well, but still be able to, have a Halloween candy with their kids, or to have that glass of wine on Friday night. There's such this this longing and this urge to live in this, like, in this gray area, and to live in that balance. And I think that's so important for all of us to realize, is that honestly, in my opinion, is where health happens, is being able to be very consistent with nutrition, to make those smart decisions, to make educated decisions. And a lot of what I try and do is educate people on, what's a better option. There are some things that we need to lessen and we need to stay away from. Gluten, dairy, those are kind of the two big ones that come up over and over and over again. And that's just because of how they're processed and manufactured. It's just not good for the body. But at the same time, if somebody has Cowgirl Creamery cheese on a cheese platter, I am going to have some Cowgirl Creamery cheese. Like, that is good quality cheese. And while I try to stay away from dairy as much as possible, like, if I know something's good quality, I'm not going to be like, oh, no. Like, I don't do that. And I feel like I see that so much, and I'm guilty of it, of like, I don't do it. That's just, I don't eat that. You can ask my sister. She has issues with some of my food stuff. But that's, that's my own journey too, of trying to find more balance with it as well. So I think, just take a moment and kind of think about, I guess, some of those food rules that you might be having, or maybe somebody that has a lot of these food rules, and just think about, like, what that food rule does to the quality of your life. Now, if you have an autoimmune, I have an autoimmune disease. I'm not going to go indulge in beans and grains, because I know what they do to my body. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't help me. It's not helpful, and it's not healthful for my body to have those foods in my daily life. But, when I'm not in an inflamed response and there is hummus on the table, like, I probably will have a little bit of hummus, moderate it, not go crazy, and then move on. That's completely living in the gray area, and that's being able to go to a party and not always have to bring my own food. I definitely did that for a really long time, where it was like, I didn't trust anything. Like, I couldn't go anywhere without packing my own food, because I didn't know what was going to be there. I didn't have that control. And that's a lot of what this is it's that control. And I think there definitely are periods of time that we all need to rein in our nutrition and have that kind of, very structured meal prep in place, and really know for maybe 6 weeks, like, I am going to dial in my nutrition 100% so that I can really kind of get my body back to its optimal place. Like, that's important for me to do. That's important for everybody to do a couple times a year, to really rein it back in, clear out all of the, I don't want to say bad. I don't want to say anything is bad, but maybe not as helpful of a choice, to clear that out, take time to really dial that in, so that you can have a little bit of balance later on. I definitely believe, I hear the 80-20 rule. I don't like the 80-20 rule. Yes, we're talking about living in the gray area, but 20% of your life is a big chunk of your life. And when you're talking about nutrition, that's a lot of wiggle room. That's a lot of wiggle room with nutrition. So I kind of live more like 95 to 5 or 10, to have maybe 5% of the time where you do allow yourself to have a treat, maybe 5% of the time where you allow yourself to be a little bit more relaxed with your nutrition, and then really 90% of the time dialing it in. And I think that is more of a sustainable lifestyle than trying to be 100%, because what that does on so many different levels, besides the stress, it takes away your social life, kind of puts you into this bubble. And I have to say, one of my favorite quotes from one of my nutrition teachers was, community creates more health than perfect nutrition. I'm going to say that one more time. Community creates more health than perfect nutrition. So if you are able to be around people and to have that treat every once in a while, you are going to be far more healthier than the perfect person that dials in their nutrition 100% of the time. I mean, that is just, to me, I was like, oh wow, like that kind of changed my perspective a lot on it, because you guys, our physical bodies is one aspect of our health. It's not all of it. We absolutely need to take care of our physical body. Otherwise, what's the point of doing all the other steps? But if we're not, feeding ourselves emotionally, if we're not feeding ourselves mentally, if we're not feeding ourselves spiritually, and when I say emotional feeding, I don't mean emotional eating. I mean fueling and feeding our emotions, giving love and support to all those emotions, and to enrich our spiritual lives and to support our spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings and we have a physical body. We need to take care of both. We can't spend all of our time taking care of the physical and ignoring the spiritual. I think that's something that is so important for us to recognize today, is that it's not all about, being absolutely 100% on our food. Food is absolutely essential. I help people like on a therapeutic level with their nutrition, and that is for a period of time. It's for a period of time of really having to dial in your nutrition, so that a lot of times I deal with people that have autoimmune diseases, because I happen to have one. And you have to be very regimented for a period of time to bring down the inflammation, to let those antibodies start to come back down. And then slowly you can maybe reintroduce other foods. But we can't live in that bubble. And I just want you guys to know, like, it is okay to slip up. It is okay to mess up. We are human. We all do it. We are meant to mess up. We learn more when we mess up than when we do things perfectly, So I've learned a lot because I do things wrong all the time, and I'm able to learn and I'm able to grow from them. So, I just want you guys, I guess if there's one word that you can take from this today, is just grace. Have grace with yourself. Be able to give yourself permission to not be perfect. Be able to give yourself permission to slip up and to isolate that. If you slip up, whatever that means to you, isolate it. And maybe start to reword that conversation. Maybe stop saying that it's a slip up or a mess up, or what do I hear all the time? A fuck up. Hopefully your kids aren't watching right now. But let's rework that narrative. You had a treat. You had an unexpected treat today. Okay, maybe you had a cookie, maybe you had 2 cookies. I really want a cookie if you guys can't tell. And just move on. Don't beat yourself up and then eat the whole bag of cookies. That's not feeding you physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. That's hurting you. But if you are out with your kids and they really want ice cream, every single time your kids want ice cream, are you just gonna sit there and watch them? What lesson are you teaching them if you never have a treat? So I think it's just important to start having a little bit more balance, a little bit more grace, and understanding that honestly being able to go out into the world and enjoy everything that the world has to offer is much more beneficial to your health than just focusing on nutrition. I got the amazing opportunity to spend 10 days in Greece and really, be able to eat intuitively. I didn't go crazy and eat all the fried foods and eat all the pita bread and all the bread, because the Greeks love their bread. It is served with every single meal, whether you like it or not. But I did have some, and I'm not going to lie, here in the States, like, I really have to stay away from gluten. And that's because my body doesn't process it. How it is produced here, my body doesn't process it, doesn't respond well to it. But when we were in Greece and they just grow things and make things differently, my body tolerated it. And I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed having bread. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed Greek yogurt and feta cheese. And my body did fine with it. And I came back and, I went back to kind of my normal eating, but still, again, being able to, have treats every once in a while. I still love dark chocolate and peanut butter at the end of the night. And that is my little treat. And that's, somewhat self-care for me, is to be able to have that little something sweet and not beat myself up. I spent years and years and years beating myself up over the smallest little slip ups. And it's not worth it. You know, it's not worth beating yourself up over a candy bar or 2 candy bars. You know, say, hey, it happened, enjoy it when it does happen. The worst is that you're beating yourself up while you're having the chocolate bar. Like that, let's get away from that. If you're gonna have the chocolate bar, have the chocolate bar and thoroughly enjoy the chocolate bar. And then the next day, you know, go back to basics. But this was just really weighing heavy on my heart lately, mainly because I never want to educate people in such a way that they become afraid of food. I want to educate people in a way that they become aware of what's in the food, of how things are manufactured or produced, maybe, you know, better options or substitutions that are available that are a little bit more healthful. But I don't want people to think that, one, I don't want anybody to think that I have perfect nutrition, because I don't. And I will never claim to be. And honestly, I hope I never have perfect nutrition, because that means that I am restricting myself, and that means that I'm depriving myself. And for me, that is not health. That is the opposite of health. So, you know, I also want people to have more grace with themselves. Like, it breaks my heart when I work with women and they, you know, they're doing so well, and then they see a mess up in their eyes, and then they let it spiral them downhill. You know, you don't need to let an hour of not great eating, you know, derail 3, 4, 5 weeks of really hard work. Don't let that mentality, you know, be yours. Like, change it. Let's start changing how we interact with food and how we interact with ourselves and the story that we tell ourselves around food. So this was just kind of something that I wanted to share with you guys. If you don't mind, if you're seeing this video, just maybe drop a comment below of like, what does nutrition look like for you, and what does balance look like for you? What does health look like for you? And I really want you guys to, you know, kind of mold that over a little bit of what does health look like to you? You know, what does kind of the perfect week of eating look like to you? Does that include treats? Does that, you know, or are you so regimented that you don't let yourself have treats? And maybe seeing if there's a way that you can start incorporating that a little bit more in a way that is helpful, and a way that feels like self-care. I think that's really important as well. So happy Wednesday, you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later.